Hey y'all, hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, good afternoon. Hey y'all, welcome. Please hit that like button. Uh sorry, give me a second, guys. Sorry, give me a second. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a good day. So I want to play some clips for you guys about, so we're going to talk about a few different things today just to give you guys some context of what to expect. So we're going to talk about Porsha feeling lonely after her divorce. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about the whole basketball wives a little bit, because I think there's still a few things that we can talk about over there. We're also going to talk about Brit a little bit. Brit had some words for Miss Kelly. And I know we started the conversation. Let me sit up. We started the conversation yesterday. And Brit, there's been an update since then. So I'm going to bring that to you guys as well. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Please let me know in the chat. Dora says that's a little too personal for me. I'm so sorry. I'm guessing you mean about the are you talking about the whole Porsche situation, or are you talking about the whole Brit and Kelly specifically? If you want to share, that's if you want to share, Dora. So guys, today I don't have my usual setup. So it is taking a little bit of time, but I will get it together, I promise. I believe I saw this on the Bravo Shade Room. Um, at this point, I'd be going to them for everything at this point. So shout out to them. All right, so let's start with Porsha. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Yeah, let's start with Porsha. Actually, sorry guys, give me 1 second. I need to make a quick. Sorry, give me 1 second. Need to run downstairs quickly. Give me a second. Hi. Okay. Thank you so much for being patient. I'm back. I promise. Sorry about being tardy today. All right. Let's get into Portia Williams. I'm going to be pausing it in between. Shout out to people. They did the interview. At this point, Claudia, you're bullying her. Leave her alone. Why are you so obsessed with her? Leave her alone. Oh, is that some music? Please, please, please. I don't want no music. So, guys, just to give you some heads up, I am going to be pausing a few times. So, if you want to watch it without the pause, you're going to go over to the Shade Room or something to watch that, or Bravo Shade Room rather, because I'm going to have to pause to give my commentary in between. That is so sad. And I know people don't have empathy for her, but I'm one of those people where I'm just like, she's a woman like the rest of us. You know, everyone makes mistakes, and she has definitely made her share of mistakes. So my thing is like, just thinking about it for a second, right? Like, if someone, I know we don't have the same backstory or whatever, right? But she has been through something. She has been through a lot. She's been through something. The least we can do is, let her tell her story without feeling condemned, right? You may not agree with her. You can say whatever, but like, I just think it's unnecessary for Claudia to be in there talking about terrible acting. Leave her alone. You're always talking about her on your platform, which is okay because you get paid for that. That's fine. But coming over to then be in the comment section, still coming at her, it just feels very personal. It feels unnecessary. Like, rest. Now, that is something I agree with. You definitely need to do it differently this time. You definitely need to do it differently this time. You need to take a step back. It's not everything that you get involved in. You need to take a step back on that. You absolutely need to take a step back. You need to take a step back. You need to really think, is this what I want for my life? Is this what I want to be dealing with? Do I want to also be in the same position again because I rush relationships, because I date people for 2 weeks and the next thing I'm in love? Like, these are the things that I feel like she needs to take accountability for and review and make sure she doesn't do it again. So that's where I stand with that. I definitely still have empathy for her because I'm just like, no matter what, it's a woman who has been through something. Like, even if I don't like somebody, when I'm hearing someone going through stuff, I feel like I usually, as much as possible, lead with love when I can. Good idea. I feel like until you're whole, until you genuinely love yourself, until you're okay being alone, I don't think you should be out here dating anyone, because I feel like there are times where it can get lonely. Yes, being single can get lonely, but at the same time, it's just like, it's the reality of life, right? You're going through a season, and sometimes people rush to get out of a season that they are in when they need to be chilling and relaxed in that season. Oh my goodness, sorry. I just realized I was sharing the wrong tab. But I do feel like people need to sort of relax in that season. You're going through something, that's what it is. That's just how I see it on that level. Um, I will say, I do think so. I'm gonna play this and then give a little bit more commentary on that. Hey sis. Um, okay.
Then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again.
Yeah, I definitely think she needs to make sure she doesn't make the same mistake again, considering she's done it before. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe she started dating Dennis, her baby daddy, I think in a year or so. So if that's the case, I would say, yeah, she definitely needs to take it a little bit slower this time around.
When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. I feel like when you're going through something, it's just like you do not like nobody. You do not like, yeah, you're not even sure what you like, who you like. So yeah, I definitely think I can completely get where she's coming from on that. So yeah, I would just say, sorry guys, I just had to move around a little bit.
Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? Like, who can come in and feel this void. Like, oh my God, somebody, I have got to be able to sit with someone and feel a part of what I felt with him.
The thing is, I definitely get the feeling like, oh, can someone like come in and like filling that void? Completely get that. But I think like that void can never be resolved by you trying to constantly fill it with people. I think like genuinely you need to do the work on yourself, be by yourself for a while before you get into anything else. So for me, at least, I feel sort of it sounds like she's going through the process and she's genuinely seeing how her actions may have contributed to the current experience that she is experiencing. So I will say that.
Him. But I don't yet. It'll come. It'll come. But I'm like, I think that it's lonely. And I think that I'm realizing that because what I've decided is I'm not gonna afford anymore. So I'm not gonna like push myself into dating or anyone.
Okay, good. I think I'm glad she cleared it up that she's not, at least she's not pushing to try to get into a relationship with anyone else. So it sort of sounds like it's not like she's trying to get into another situation. Um, yeah, so at least that bit is sorted, at least, at the very least.
Who do I like? Who can I be around? Because this is probably also part of healing. Me just sitting with this, sitting with being alone, sitting with the loss, and let myself heal the loss. And I know I'm crying right now, but I feel good every day. Each day, I get better. Each day, I feel better.
I'm glad like over time she is starting to feel better. I do think like it's a journey. It's not something that like, okay, you go through a breakup now, all of a sudden you're whole. It's a process, it's a journey. I'm glad she's like, it sounds like she's open to like, taking the steps that she needs to take to actually heal herself. And at least we did learn something from the last episode where there was some reference to her therapist. So it sounds like she's also working through it in therapy. And if she has a really good therapist, then I'm sure they're addressing some of the things that we feel like she should be addressing.
But I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard living lonely when you have to live lonely for a while. And I think that, well, now that my divorce is finalized, yes, I'm finally able to exhale.
That is deep. It's almost like when you've been on high alert for such a long time. And I know, like, like I said, a lot of people don't have empathy for her, but think about like being in the public and then you're dealing with a public divorce, and then people are saying, and people have really strong views about who you are. And then coupled with your ex-husband saying certain things on social media. So I'm not surprised that she feels like she's finally able to excel personally.
I really am. It comes with mixed feelings. It's probably more of like, it's not like a smooth, like, it's like, because it's not smooth. Like, it's kind of surreal. I mean, divorces are so long and drawn out and so ugly. But I'm just glad not to be in the fight anymore. I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I agree with divorces being like long and drawn out. Some divorces take years and years and years because there's just like fighting over different things. So I do agree that it can take a lot longer than it should take. So yeah, completely agree with that. Hey, Lady Paul. Hello, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. So glad you're able to join.
And not to battle more. I really hope that I can just send love out and be done with like fighting and protect myself and being in defense mode. I'm just ready to move on and live. I really am. I'm ready for what's next. I really, really am. And I forgive myself.
Ooh, I have to pause that. I when you get to the point where you're like saying you forgive yourself, that is a big thing because like most times you realize that you bear some responsibility in what happened to you. And the fact that I feel like she's finally gotten to the point where she's like, actually, I forgive myself. I think that's a big thing. She's finally gotten to the point where she's like, do you know what? I take ownership. I forgive myself for my part, the part that I had to play in the demise of this situation. So, yeah, I definitely think that's interesting.
And I truly forgive him. And I'm done with the animosity.
Mm.
And I'm done with what could have been.
Ooh, that is also a really good point. Like for people who have been through breakups, you know, it's that what could have been where you're just thinking like, oh, maybe it could have worked. Maybe if I stayed a bit longer, maybe things could have like gotten off on the right foot. Maybe this, maybe this, maybe that. But in reality, maybe not. And so actually getting to the place where you're at peace with like, okay, this is what it is. Like I can't make it up. This is the reality. This is where things are at. You know, that's all you can do, right?
Well, now that my divorce is finalized, yes, finally able to tell. And I'm done with what could have been. And I'm
Mm.
also done fantasizing about what it could have been. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you have a marriage like mine that felt so perfect,
Fantasizing, that's the word. Because I think sometimes you get into these relationships and you're just like, okay, well, you know, it's gonna work. We're this together. We're this, we're that. And then it's almost like you're fantasizing about how perfect you are and not really focusing on what the reality is. The reality is you guys are not, right? And so what it sounds like is they were so in her mind, so perfect. And then over time, she then started to see how imperfect it was.
you often, after the breakup, fantasize about how perfect it could have been and
Mhm.
what you could have done different. And I'm okay now with how everything has happened. And I'm good.
Okay. I was just putting
And
in the
I'm done
chat
with what could have
the
been.
like
And I'm
button, everyone.
also done
Thank you.
fantasizing about what it could have been. Because
Let
when
me
you have
put
a marriage
this over
like
here
mine that
so
felt
that
so
everybody
perfect,
can
you
see. Please
often,
hit the
after
like button.
the breakup,
Thank
fantasize
you
about.
very much. Okay. So now that we've talked about Porsha, I personally feel like I have a little bit of empathy for her, but then again, I'm just generally an empathetic person. Looking at the comments, though, it looks like a lot of people do not have any empathy for her. I don't blame people. People feel the way they feel, especially because of the way she met that man. Now you should have known God will never send you someone else's husband. Okay, that is the truth. That is the truth. So I do think like at least it doesn't invalidate how she feels. I think she feels how she feels. She had to go through the divorce. She had to go through the breakdown of the relationship. She had to actually marry this man, live with this man for, you know, however long they lived together for. So I think that I understand the bit where, you know, she's crying and, you know, it's a demise of the relationship. I get that. I have empathy for her, but I also get that people don't have empathy for her because they feel like she is the agent of her own chaos. Both things can be true. I see the part she played in beginning this relationship and not properly vetting this man to begin with. I completely get that, but that for me still doesn't invalidate me having some empathy for her. But that is just me, and I'm not forcing my opinions on you guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button as we continue this conversation. So, what I want to show you guys now, I'm going to show you guys this picture just because I can. Nope, I don't want the music. But this video of her, you guys remember the movie Waiting to Exhale? That is literally what she is given. Now, people are not liking it at all. The comment sections are basically eating her up. Most people are saying, like, she's Delulu. Why would she be out here using that movie? She's not the victim. She is in the land of delusion. Whatever the case may be, I personally think she looks good in that. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. Now let's talk about Kelli and Brit, and then talk about how we feel about the conversation that was had. So let's
one episode that I did not look forward to. The one episode where I wish that if I'd not take it back, but I'm just disappointed with what truly transpired and, very hurt by the things that were said.
Okay, so now for those of you who may not know, there was a face-off between Kelli and Brit, where Brit basically accused Kelli of having an AB. And I'm not going to say the full words because I feel like you guys probably know what it means. Unaliving a baby is the best way that I can say it, right? And so Kelli, of course, denies it. Kelli, in what actually happened was Kelli called her a pill popper first, and then she in turn said that Kelli had, done the AB. And so this is now what Kelli is saying as the aftermath of that conversation. Okay, so I don't really want to play that clip.
She's not a mother.
What I wanted to play, why is that not playing?
This was the one episode that I did not look forward to. The one episode where I wish that if I could not take it back, but I'm just disappointed with what truly transpired and very hurt by the things that were said.
You can't bring up abortion.
Okay.
Oh, she tried to call me a pill popper. Hey, if you
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like they were both wrong. I feel like they went way below the belt. There's no reason for you to be calling somebody a pea popper. There's also no reason for you to be accusing someone of getting an AB done, even if they've gotten an AB done. I think that there's no reason for you to try to expose them in that way. Same as if you've seen them pop in peas before, there's no reason for you to expose them in that way. Instead of, if you were truly a friend, wouldn't you be thinking about like, oh, maybe getting some help for them if they have an issue with substances, right? And so I feel like they both went below the belt, in my opinion. But Kelli is saying how she feels about the whole situation.
you should be sure to take it. That horse bitch. She's a hoe.
Is there backstory that she pulled this out of nowhere?
Let me just always say this.
Okay. So this guy is asking her if there was a backstory there. Somehow. Okay, let's hear what she says, and then I'll tell you guys what I feel.
It's my body and my choice. Nothing had transpired with Brit and I where, I had talked to her about abortions.
Oof.
I had her pick me up from an abortion,
Okay. But did you talk to someone else about it? Because what I'm getting is, did you talk to someone within your team about it? Did they then tell Brit? If you didn't directly tell Brit, this is just the question I'm trying to figure out. Because if you're saying you've never asked her to pick you up, those are very specific claims, right? And you're saying you've never spoken to her about getting one. That's different from saying you've never gotten one. Now, it's your business, so nobody is really entitled to whether or not you have. That's your choice. That's your business, right? But at the same time, excuse me, when you make those comments saying, oh, she's never driven me somewhere, as opposed to just flat out denying it to begin with, it seems a little bit suspicious. It seems like there is some truth to what Brit said.
No, like it wasn't anything that happened between her and I where that was discussed ever out of any moment or time in our friendship. And it's hurtful that she would just blatantly come on national television and tell a lie. I am a mother of 4 beautiful daughters. She's not a mother. Honestly.
Okay.
This was the one episode that I did.
Okay, so now it's just playing back. Okay, so then she talks about being a mother. And here's the thing. I feel like people are also not picking up on her saying the bits about her being a mom or not being able to have children or whatever that she said. So I think all of them went low in that moment. I think everybody took it entirely too far in that conversation. I do think like it's sort of personal violations. It's like, imagine you're friends with somebody and the moment you guys fall out, they start saying things like this, or they start talking about different things that are private to you and that you don't want to be out there. That is very, very disappointing, because I feel like I would always wonder, if we were ever friends, if you ever feel comfortable repeating anything I told you privately just because now we're not cool, because that's just not something that I would do, right? So, but I also understand if you start it, I understand people that are like, yeah, I'm not about to let you say that and not say what I know about you. So there is that as well.
She's not a mother, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I have to now have that conversation with all of my daughters, because it's something that was talked about on the show. And it's hurtful that someone that I once called a friend take a lie and say that,
Mm.
and almost would have people to believe them because we're friends, So I'm curious to see, and we never even got down to the bottom of it, why that statement.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. And if it's the truth, if she is telling the truth and this is actually a lie, that's very disappointing. I don't think nobody should be out here lying on another person, especially about something so intimate. I don't think that is okay at all. But my question is, let me know in the chat. I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Do you guys believe that this is actually what happened? Do you guys think this is the truth? Do you guys think Brit is lying? Do you guys believe Kelli? Let me know in the chat. I'm just curious. If you let me know, then maybe I'll tell you guys what I think.
Hands are not clean.
Not him saying it smiling with a smiley face. Your hands are not clean in this situation. Like, you better tell her. Indeed. It's like you started it and Brit went all the way to hell with it.
Either you may
No.
You better talk to your motherfucking roommate. You better talk to your
Match point.
Why did that come out of your mouth?
The statement that I made, unlike hers, was very truthful. And
Oh, okay. So I guess truth is a defense, if as an excuse for that coming out of your mouth. Well, I guess Brit could say the same thing. Brit could say, well, that's the truth, so I'm just repeating the truth. Okay. So I don't really think that should fly. That shouldn't be an excuse for saying something like that.
I can back mine up, and clearly she can't.
Well, I would not say that so fast, because Brit is in the chat telling us that she can back it up. She said she better keep it on the playground before I provide the receipts on who, oh my gosh, on who it was by while she was married. She don't want to go there. So what it sounds like, this is insinuating that she stepped out on her husband and allegedly got pregnant by somebody else while she was married. Oh my gosh. Brit is definitely taking it all the way.
So
I do think there must be
MVP.
I don't know. I definitely think like there's probably an element of some truth to it. I don't know where Brit got the information from. And how would she have that receipt is what I'm trying to figure out. Were you recording your friend when you guys were friends? That would be very weird. Imagine you're out here recording your friends. That's hella weird. That can't be right.
You know what?
Were you planning that for a rainy day? Like, these are the questions that I want to know the answer to. But Brit is so annoying, because Brit didn't come to the reunion. That could have been something that you could have brought to the reunion and could have squashed it there. But now we're never going to get the answer. At this point, I feel like someone needs to interview Brit. Someone needs to just have an interview with Brit, break the internet, have all the receipts. Maybe Tasha K should do it, because most people would probably be like so worried about like getting sued or something. But maybe Tasha K should do it. Tasha K might just get to the bottom of it, ask all the questions that we're trying to figure out, and have that resolved. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just mistakenly closed the tab. Give me a second, guys. I think that's what happens when you decide to go live whilst dealing with a headache. Everything is just in slow motion. Um, okay, so we've talked about Brit and this whole Kelly situation. The other thing I did want to talk about was the new Basketball Wives episode. Okay, so here's the thing. I think if I wanted to rate that episode, I'll probably give it a 5. And I'll give it a 5 because I feel like everything with that show is now becoming a bit redundant. I feel like we've seen a few episodes where it almost comes across as we are talking about the same things over and over and over and over again. And I feel like I'm mentally exhausted of having to listen to the same set of storylines. It just feels weird. It just feels a little too, yeah, it feels a little too redundant. It feels boring to me. And I remember like when I was watching this, I was thinking like I watched the episode and I thought, what have I really picked up so far from it? It just felt like I'm talking about the same things that we've talked about in some way, shape, or form prior to this whole experience, right? So like in previous episodes, we've talked about Jackie and Chantel. In previous episodes, we've talked a little bit about Brandy and Jennifer. I guess we haven't talked about Evelyn and Brandy. Now, I personally feel like they are both wrong. I feel like they're both wrong. And I say they're both wrong because I just feel like if you're my friend and I wanted to address something with you, like, I'm not going to just take it left and say, oh, you have a stank attitude. That wouldn't be the way I would come across. I would be more than willing to have a more civil conversation about it as opposed to taking it all the way there, right? I could have just said, okay, this upset me, but it sounds like Evelyn doesn't care when something upsets somebody, even though she could have just addressed how she felt. Now, Evelyn had the right to feel a certain way because at the end of the day, um, there was so much drama which was caused by Brandy actually inviting Jennifer to the house. But I do also think Brandy has a reason to feel some type of way because if you're out here trying to stir up ish between me and Shawnee, saying I put my hands in her face, even if I did, then it's like it just feels a little bit like you're trying to get your lick back because you didn't like that I invited Jennifer. So I do think like two things can be true. And I think on this one, I do think they could have solved it with a conversation, but Evelyn was being childish. You told her she had a stank attitude. She still stayed there, was still willing to like talk about it until you then said something that you were just like it was that just gave the impression you don't give a F, right? And it's like if you don't care about it, why should I care about the relationship? Like you don't care about it, you don't care about it. What's my business? You know? And so I feel like there's an element of that personally um that I would say I noticed and I personally did not like. So I would say that. Um, that said, the other thing that I really picked up on that I wanted to talk about is that new girl and Jackie. Like, new girl, sit your way down. Why do you have so much venom for Jackie? You don't even know Jackie. You've not had that much interactions with her. Why are you talking about her parenting? It just feels entirely too much. It's almost like somebody put some batteries in her back and it's like, go after Jackie, go after Jackie. And then she decided to come after Jackie. That's what it felt like. I don't think there was any need for that. I think people are also missing the fact that Chantel is a grown adult, right? She wants to be treated like an adult. And so if her mom decides to treat her like an adult, then what is the problem? And so I just think that that needs to also be like looked into because everyone seems to be on this. It's a little bit of a like a hate, you know, Jackie, come at Jackie thing, which I know instead of everyone to be thinking about how can we have Jackie and Chantel sit down and resolve their issues, you can obviously tell that people don't really care about Jackie and Chantel's relationship. They are just trying to create drama for the show because if you really cared about it, you would be trying to figure out a way to have them reconcile, not passing information about, or whatever Chantel told you, over to Jackie and vice versa, and they're creating more issues in the relationship. I think that is very, very weird. So I would say that was the other thing that I picked up on. I also picked up on how it felt like when Jackie came to the event at the end of the towards the end of the episode, where Brittany Renner was there, Evelyn was there, Shawnee was there, not Shawnee, who was what's Evelyn's daughter's name? Yeah, maybe Shawnee. I don't know, I can't remember. And then there was somebody else there. Ty Young was there as well. It kind of felt like everybody was on the corner having an attitude, right? When Jackie got there. And I get it, because you guys are not cool with Jackie in this moment. Absolutely understand that. But I think the fact that when Jackie then eventually chose to leave, everybody was then making it seem like, oh, how dare she leave the event? If I'm somewhere and everybody has an attitude with me and the tension is unnecessary that you can cut it with a knife, best believe I'm going to remove myself from that situation, because why else do I need to be in that situation dealing with that? I don't. That's the reality of it. I do not. I shouldn't have to be dealing with that. I don't have to deal with that. That's it. That's all, really. So yeah, that would be it for me, really. So yeah, I would say, like, if I had to give it, probably give it a 5. It really did nothing for me at all. I was just like, please, next episode, give us something more, because this feels more like a filler episode. Um, and yeah, my heart goes out to the people who lost their homes in the fire. That is a horrible, horrible thing to experience. Like, I cannot even imagine. So my heart goes out to anyone. If you guys are listening and this, something like this happened to you guys, my heart goes out to you guys in the season. Honestly, because yeah, that's such a horrible, horrible thing to happen to anybody. But yeah, honestly, guys, my head is hurting, so I am going to hang up. I'm going to find some painkillers and lay down. But thanks for hanging with me. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I hope you guys are feeling all right. Yeah, I may come back live, maybe not today, to be honest. Let me just rest today. But if something interesting enough happens tomorrow, then I will come back on live and have a chit chat with you guys tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Replay gang, please also hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button for more videos and content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.